Hey friends, Dave Burkus here. Thanks so much for watching The Daily Burk. Today we are talking about how to apologize, how to say I'm sorry and actually mean it and actually have that apology accepted. And it's weird to me that a video like this even needs to be made, but the truth is we are terrible at apologies. Right? Before we talk about what to do right, we should talk about probably the two things that most apologies do wrong. They usually do one of these two things. The first is that they don't actually apologize for an action, they apologize for a reaction. In other words, they'll say something like, I'm sorry if I hurt you, I'm sorry if anyone was offended by this comment, etc. That's not actually apologizing for something you did. That's saying I'm sorry and then blaming somebody else for that. That's not an apology. You may not want to apologize for your actions, and in which case you would use those words, but if you think you're apologizing by saying that, you're wrong. Now, the second thing that people do when they apologize is that they apologize for their actions, but then they just explain, right? And they're trying to sort of explain away and get you to see why that negative thing was their only choice, or why you would have done it too, or something else that just diminishes from the nature of the actual apology. Now, we know if you've been in the work world for, longer than a week, you know you're going to make mistakes. And so you're going to need to apologize. And when you do, you want to do it effectively, especially if you actually are remorseful. And that actually brings me to sort of the three big steps, and maybe an alternative fourth step, but the three big steps to an apology. The first is to express remorse, express actual remorse. I am sorry. I regret doing that thing. I feel terrible about it. Express that remorse. The second thing is to accept responsibility, right? Now you do that just by saying that I apologize for doing this, but you could even go further and say, I take full responsibility. It was my bad. Do not offer an explanation afterwards for why you had to take that responsibility, because then you default into that error too. But accept responsibility, that's number two. And then number three is to offer to improve, right? So you might say I promise I'll never do it again. Truthfully, that's not really realistic because you don't know what's gonna happen in the future, but I promise to improve. I'll try harder the next time I'm in a situation to do better. Right now, an optional fourth, depending on the situation, is the offer to repair. So not only will I try harder to improve, but can I make amends by doing this? Can I fix it by doing this? That number four is really determined by the situation, but you're going to at least need to hit the three. And if you legitimately do want to apologize, you'll hit these three, right? But remember, as you're sculpting your apology, as you're doing it, that you need to do at least those things. You need to express remorse. You need to say I'm sorry, or that I feel terrible, that I regret doing this. You need to accept responsibility. I take responsibility. It's my fault, etc. And then you need to offer to improve. I promise I will do better next time. I will do everything I can to make the right choice next time. Anything like that. An honest, sincere apology goes a long way. One of my favorite studies actually showed that doctors apologizing for mistakes that they made in practice actually reduces the number of malpractice lawsuits and reduces the settlements for each. Now, I'm not saying that because, hey, apologize and you can save money. That's not what I mean. I'm saying it because an apology, a genuine apology, is powerful, but you have to do it right. And to do it right, you've got to hit those three steps. Thanks so much for watching The Daily Burk. Leave a comment. Let me know how you apologize. Let me know what I missed so I can apologize for not including it in the video. And while you're there, make sure you're followed or subscribed to the show. We post new episodes every single weekday that are designed to help you do your best work ever, and you're not going to want to miss them. Thanks so much for watching The Daily Burk.